The way that you can become happy is to give more. All my clients that are stuck, I'm like, who'd you give to today? Stop by the homeless shelter, stop by doing something and do something that's going to make somebody else happy. Be open to the reciprocation, no matter what. If you do something nice for somebody, you feel good. I don't care if it's you open a door for somebody. Realizing everything's finite, everything ends. Just overlap that happiness and find something to be happy about on a consistent basis, because it's very easy if you're searching for it.
Hey, you, are you feeling stuck, desperate for a career change, or thinking of starting a business, but you're just not sure how to make your first move? I'm television producer turned career coach Shannon Russell, and this is the Second Act Success Career Podcast. This is where you will not only get the career advice you've been craving, but you'll get tips from career and business experts, along with inspiration from others who have made a career transition to find second act success. Let's get started. Have you ever felt like you hit rock bottom? Have you ever been smacked in the face with bad luck? Sometimes this is what you need to have happen in order to get up and move towards where you're supposed to be in life. On this episode of the podcast, I sit down with Scott Ferguson, and we discuss how you can't truly find happiness and success until you serve others. Scott was an orphan. He had an unstable family life, served in the military, went to college at the age of 25, and then hit it big in real estate. It was when the market plummeted that he took a look in the mirror and wanted to make a change. Scott is now a life coach and host of the Time to Shine Today podcast, where he helps others level up in life. Let's dive into my chat with my friend, Scott Ferguson. All right, I'm here with Scott Ferguson, my buddy Scott. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing, Miss Shannon? Blessed to be here, and thank you so much for having me on. I believe I had you on episode 353, which you rocked the mic.
I loved being on your podcast. I'm going to put a link to when I was on yours in the show notes. And yeah, we really hit it off. You have such a story that I don't even know where to start with you. I guess tell me, a little about your childhood and growing up and kind of what you wanted to do.
That's like a huge kind of can of worms. Actually, my story was kind of sought after by some time talk shows and stuff like that. I was born in the Philippines in 1972. So I'm 51 years old. I was a bastard child. My father was an American GI. My mom was Filipino. And at that time, they were taking male mixed breeds, bastard children, away from their mothers at birth because, I'm 6'1", I'm 240, pretty well put together. And they were worried that I'm going to just, half American men were just going to start taking over the Philippine Islands. So they're literally taking the kids and shipping them to Spain because Spain controls the Philippine Islands. That's how it was back then. It's not like it is now. But
right.
So I had an Air Force couple that wanted to adopt a third child. They had two of their own. They wanted to adopt, so they started the process. And the lady that was going to adopt me, her father got sick in California, so they got like a temporary passport for me to travel with them to Cali. Her father dies. She goes schizophrenic. The father's like, I can't raise a third child. I don't think he was really ever down with adopting as much as the mom was. And so I ended up in an orphanage and kind of did my time there. And I got adopted by my family, who's my family now, but they were alcoholics. My dad, my best friend in the world, he was a Vietnam vet, heavy drinker. My mom was a heavy drinker. So when they adopted me, they couldn't raise me. So I was passed around to our family. So I had no identity, felt abandoned, all that other jazz. So, went to school, and luckily I had cousins and friends that were really into sports and athletes. And I kind of went down that route, and I got offers from colleges for certain sports, but they didn't like my 1.8 grade point average, right? So my dad's like, listen, dude, you're not staying at the house without paying rent. So literally I went to talk to a recruiter, and 15 days later, I was in boot camp, and I did 7 years in the Navy. I got 30 some countries. I did 6 tours, Persian Gulf War, Somalia, Afghanistan, whatnot. And I built a family there, but I got out and it was like, I'm right back to where I was. And so that's kind of like a second act, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, so I get out. My dad worked on the line at General Motors, great guy, love him. He quit drinking, but there was never any prosperity mindset in the family. So I'm just going to make money. So basically got into the real estate business and printed money. But I was that douchebag that would show up at family reunions and $100,000 cars. Everyone's like, oh, great, here's Scott. I'm a God-fearing man, Christian dude, and 2009 breaks on you, dude, and we're going to crash the market. And, I did not listen to my advisors and lost pretty much everything and started reading The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. The whole premise is that you take 100% responsibility for your stuff and that you stay happy even in times of adversity and continue to gain wisdom. Basically, he goes back in time and all these people give him lessons. That's when I launched Time to Shine Today. My mom was my first subscriber in 2010. And we're at 170,000 plus subscribers now. So that's my kind of childhood up to now. I know you kind of only asked about childhood, but it's kind of broken into 3 segments in 51 years.
That's just an incredible story, Scott. I love that kind of serving is like the thread that kind of goes through everything, if you think about it, right? You served in the military, you serve your clients now, your listeners now. It's just incredible to see how much you're giving back and how much you have given back kind of all throughout your life.
Sure. It's kind of like the law of value is giving more than what you kind of get back, but still being open to reciprocation. Like if you have a plant behind you, right? And you're breathing in what? Oxygen, you're breathing out carbon dioxide. The plant has no choice but to accept the carbon dioxide and put out oxygen, right? That's how we have human beings have to be. I mean, give till it hurts so good, but be open to that reciprocation. It doesn't monetary form. It could be my goddaughter calling me to chat and not hit me up. So it's like it can come in everything. Just be open to it. And also have responsibility for everything, right? Like that's the biggest thing with my coaching clients. A lot of them come to me and they're not taking responsibility. And to me, responsibility is the ability to respond, right? So to anything that you are going through, it's rooted in the word. If you can respond and not react, you can really get to where you need to be.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back then. So you were in the military, you came out and that was your family. You said you built a family while you were abroad.
Yeah.
And then, so how did you get into real estate from that point? What drove you to that point? Was it the money? Was it knowing that you can grow some wealth through that?
That's an awesome question. I was a 25-year-old freshman at Western Michigan University, right?
Okay.
Got out in 1997 and, here I am, I'm a 25-year-old. And so I rushed to fraternity because I'm like, I'm going to do everything in life. And 25 years old, my nickname was Pops and stuff. Older than everybody by like 7 years, 6, 4, 5, 7 years. And they burned down the house. I wasn't there. I was actually working at Olive Garden when that, hey, your family burned down the house, the fraternity house. So I was like, okay, so the owner, an alumni, and he saw me. He's like, hey, you're older. Why don't you help me find another house for you guys? And so I helped him. I'm like, dude, this is it, man. This is awesome. And I had like 3 semesters. It was never for me because I already had so much structure from the military that going to school just went. Literally, I dropped out of school and helped this guy acquire property, taxes on houses, put signs in yards and stuff like that. Again, that douchebag that had big billboards on the side of the expressway with my arms folded, power poses. I mean, it led me to be like the realtor for the Detroit Lions, Detroit Tigers, Detroit Red Wings, the Pistons. So I was that guy and did a lot of business and stuff, but I was kind of preyed on other people's misfortunes. Oh, you're losing your house? Well, I can help you. I buy their house for super cheap. Person I was supposed to be serving, I was serving to my own. No matter what, you have a karmic debt to pay, and I got checked, and yeah, that's what happened.
So then you're at this kind of low point, and what makes you decide to launch Time to Shine Today?
I stayed in the real estate business during that time. I'm even in it to this day. Real estate to me is kind of like your high school girlfriend, right? Where, she's your first love, your first everything, right? But I'm not in love with her anymore, but will always be that, something that I'm close to, something that I'm good at. And so with that being said, that's where kind of Time to Shine Today kind of started to come into focus with regards to, hey, there's people out there that need more than just finding a plumber, finding something like that, finding some woman had like, ovarian cyst, right? Wanted holistic stuff. I looked so hard, found her something and it worked. And I was like, man, I was giving. But this lady started referring people without, expecting anything. So yeah, that's where it came. And Time to Shine Today really just started as digital products sent to people that I personally use to help me level up. and started building a list off of that. And, a lot of people are big on social, and I love the people that are, but like, Instagram, Facebook, they can turn you off tomorrow, today, where my email list, unless I spam them, they can never turn me off,
Hmm.
and they're expecting to hear from me.
Yes.
So that's where it really kind of came down to.
Do you feel like that you changed your mindset? You started motivating yourself to be maybe quote unquote this better person, this better version of yourself, and you wanted to pay that back to others by
Yeah.
really helping them level up, as you say, with the
Yeah.
podcast and with just bringing more motivation to people.
Absolutely, man. And that's where people kind of lose they might have discipline, they might have hard work ethic and stuff like that, but the motivation can wait. And motivation, like Zig Ziglar used to say, is like bathing. You have to do it every day. That's the where I wake up every day with an enthusiasm to change something. You can ask my fiance, you can ask, anybody. That's just how I am. I'm up, I'm ready to rock. I'm getting mine every day. I've earned what I get, but I get mine every day. It's like, what can I give to keep up with what I'm getting at this
Right.
point where I've gotten to? We just believe that everybody knows what they want. They just don't know how to talk themselves into it, right? And you're being a consultant and people moving into the second act, they don't know how to do it or how to talk themselves into it. And it's going to be like, listen, dude, look at me, I was in the Hollywood world, I'm crushing it on this side. It's like, you can really do that. So I believe that any problem what he has resides in them, but so is the answer. So I'm not a consultant. I'm not going to tell you to do something, because you could be like, well, Fergie, I tried that and it's junk, but if you come up with the idea, right, then you're going to see it through a heck of a lot more. So that's where I'm gifted with curiosity. It's my superpower. And I'm able to get people to rock and roll and take that action.
Right. Because so many times people feel stuck and they just need that person to help motivate them. So, talk to me about your clients then and really what you
Yeah.
do with your one on one clients. Tell me about
Mhm.
your coaching.
Yeah, and most of is one-to-one. I do have high schools here in South Florida where I'm building masterminds, because, 5 years from now, I want at least 3 or 4 of the people in that mastermind to come back and give back. I do a lot of the pro bono work. I do pro bono work at the Palm Beach County Jail. The short timers, they allow me to come in there and coach them for their vision when they're getting released, in the short time. So I do, that's the only time I really do group. But most of my stuff's one-to-one. I'm blessed to have professional athletes, actors, actresses. I'm blessed to know that I'm not there to tell them what to do. I'm there to really motivate them to do it, to live with options, not obligations, right? So
Hmm.
that's my thing, is like, listen, there's options out there. Let's get after them and do that. The coaching is really one-to-one. I always do an hour of power with them, free. Start a baseline, and then from there, if it's a fit, great. If not, I've interviewed 400 plus coaches that I can set them with and refer them to. So I'm not able to not give. You know what I'm saying? If I say, sorry, dude, I'm not the right guy, I wouldn't feel good about walking away from it. But I'm like, hey, you know what? You're starting another career. Hey, I got Shannon here
Hmm.
that I think that would be a great fit for you. So that's the thing, is I've set up my podcast, set up everything to serve the masses, but still on a very micro influencing scale, where I'm
Yeah.
not like, boom, look at me. I'm like, okay, I'm zoned in. I'm blessed to have the amount of subscribers I have, but at the same time, it's not giant.
Right.
I'm able to still be intimate with them.
And I love that. And I love that we have kind of that Hollywood connection in a sense of like, I used to work with them, you're working with them one on one.
Mhm.
Why do you think that some celebrities, athletes that are on this grandiose level and scale still need that motivation? Do you find something that's common in a lot of your more high prestigious clients, if you will? Why are they all looking for a little extra leveling up power from Fergie?
Because all those people, they want to plant trees that they're never going to sit in the shade of, right? And there's not that many of them. I mean, you got the guys out there like me, and like, and I'm blessed to coach one of them too. They want that. And that's one of the biggest, I guess, compliments that I get, is like, you're letting me make a difference in the long term. They want to be able to have their name live on, in a sense, and to be remembered. And you can look at it as an ego, but I don't. I'm like, you are talented on huge screens in front of all of us. They have staying power, that they leave a legacy for those people. Now, I have housewives that I coach, and they want to be a legacy to their children. They want to be a legacy to their family. They want to be the only woman that her husband looks at, you know? So it's this kind of still the same thing is that they want to leave something behind
Yeah.
that's better and greater than what they're giving even right now.
Wow. We all, no matter what level we're on, we all need that push. We all need that
Right.
person to go to. And I always say, I'm a coach, I have a coach. Everyone has someone
Oh
that they
yeah.
go to,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just that we're all lifelong learners and learning from someone else. And we all have so much
Sure.
great information and experience in our past to share to other people who might not have that, and it's paying it back like you've
Oh
said.
yeah.
How do you think, Scott, that everything you've been through has led you up to today? Like, what have you taken from the military, from your family life when you were younger? Just all of these different aspects kind of made you what you are today with what you're doing.
I believe that knowing that everything is finite,
Mm,
we're all going to die. So everything's finite. And I speak on stage, and one of my most requested speeches is overlapping your happiness, right? So if you and your hubby were to come to South, be like, oh man, we're going, it's December, it's cold here, we're going to visit Fergie. Yeah, awesome. Come down here. You're here for a week. We have a blast. I give you the best seafood. You guys are exploring South Florida. But guess what? That week ends, you go home to the cold, right? So you have got to figure out ways, and that's what my clients do, and they come up with it to overlap their happiness. So doing stuff every day that makes them enthusiastic, that makes them happy. And the way that you can become happy is to give more. All my clients that are stuck, I'm like, who'd you give to today? Stop by the homeless shelter, stop by doing something and do something that's going to make somebody else happy, be open to the reciprocation, no matter what. If you do something nice for somebody, you feel good. I don't care if it's you open a door for somebody. Realize that everything's finite, everything ends. Just overlap that happiness and find something to be happy about on a consistent basis because it's very easy if you're searching for it. If you're a blaming person, which a lot of my clients when I first meet them are, but like where you place the blame is where the power goes, right? So it's
I
like,
like that.
you want them to keep their power and keep the blame on themselves. And the way you can do that is just think of things, that can make you happy. It's not hard once you get into that exercise. Like my clients, there's a process, and I've been in martial arts since I was young. So I put them in belt rankings, if you will. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? As I'm coaching them. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're just trying to get more money out of them. No, I'm not, because I've had people go from white to black belt in a month. Like they
Mm.
get it, they hop on, they're all in, and they just come back to me for refreshers. But there's other people that have never been coached, that don't know what it's about. And I'm able to help them and through their levels and get them to the point where, no one's happy all the time, but you can make the choice to be happy. I find the most happiness comes is when I'm serving. End of
Mm.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're just helping them figure it out too. I think some people will go to a coach and just expect them to fix it for them. And it's not what we do. We're there to to help give you the ways to make your life better or to get to your end goal, but we can't do it for you. So you have to be self-motivated in that sense as well. Right?
All change is hard at first, messy in the middle. It's gorgeous at the end, right?
Mm,
It's hard, dude, to get started. And then it gets really messy.
yes.
That's just what I'm just blessed to be able to be here for.
What's your favorite thing? Is it your podcast? Is it working one on one? Is it being on the stage speaking or writing your book? We've got to talk about your book. What is your favorite
Yeah.
way to spend the day?
I said it before, but living with options and not obligations. Like this right here is a highlight of my day. This isn't work. The best part is the serving. I love my podcast. My podcast started as a selfish endeavor. I want to meet people like you, which will help level up my coaching. So I got some big names, that will be coming on, but those aren't the people that I learn the most from. I learn the most from people like you. I learn the most from other people, and it just allows me to give back if it aligns right. Some people, they come on, they're not right for sending business, but they still have a right to get their platform out there and noticed by people. And I love being able to give them a small little micro platform for me. They're going to get at least 15,000 people to listen to them,
Yeah.
and hear their story. So yeah, it feels really good.
Well, you're just doing so many great things. All right, it's time for our 5 fast cues of the week. Here we go. Name one thing that these different chapters in your life have taught you.
I guess the answer is to be resilient and serve.
Would you recommend taking a leap into a big life change to your best friend?
If it serves them, absolutely.
What is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who's starting their second act today?
Hire a coach like you.
Thank you.
Period. Hire a coach. Get the right people behind you. Absolutely.
Don't do it alone. Yep. So, what does the next act look like for you, Fergie?
I'll never plateau, but I will be on a bigger scale, which I'm not comfortable with being on a bigger scale yet. But I've hired the people to make sure that I am more comfortable because it's inevitable. I've been getting speaking and engagement offers and stuff like that that I've turned down that I don't feel I'm ready for yet. Like I'm more of kind of I joke around and say I'm a fluffer speaker, but people want me to start keynoting big events, and I'm not ready for that. It's going to happen, but I have to build the right team for that to happen.
Oh, I mean, it can happen tomorrow if you are ready for it. Honestly, you're fantastic. Let's
Thank
talk
you.
about your book as the next act, too, though. You've got a book coming out.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. The name of it is the working name is Harmonic Hustle. I think balance is zero, and I think harmony is what you have to have. I believe that even when my coaching clients are like, "I want balance," I'm like, "Balance is junk. It's zero. You want harmony." So basically, the book is about a fable or a parable of a real estate agent that loses a huge deal, wants to quit the business, and he goes to his smart ass of millennial broker to quit. And the millennial broker's whole demeanor changes. Like, listen, if my dad said if I ever wanted to quit the business to talk to these five people, the five people are just kind of people that I've met through my journey that poured the lessons into me. They're the shoulders of giants that I stand upon right now. And basically the lessons that are learned from that to be able to pay it forward. There's a lot that goes into it. So it's gonna be fabulous because it's kind of a diary of my life played out through, a fable. But the stories that I've learned is basically the stuff that I coach from. So it's going to be a lot of fun to get that out there and have something to actually give out at speaking engagements. Because right now, like people will reach out to me like, "Hey, Fergie, we can pay $3,000 to rock the stage, but hey, if you have a product budget, we'll give you $1,500 more." I'm like, really? Like for books. And I'm like, crap, I don't have anything. So that'll be out there. But just to have something that it will be evergreen, whether one person reads it or a million people reads it, it's pretty cool.
Congratulations on that. And I think that's going to be just so entertaining and just an incredible accomplishment. So, where can my audience connect with you? Where are all the places to find you, listen to you, all the things?
Yeah, everything's at Time to Shine Today. Our direct cell is 561-440-3830. Give a shout out for our suicide life prevention hotline at 888-577-2232. If you're having any issues, please reach out to them. It's huge for me. I lost four buddies that I served with that have taken their lives. And also my little brother took his life as well. So yeah, that's how they can reach us.
Absolutely. I'm going to put that all in the show notes as well because that's such an important
Yeah.
cause.
If anyone out there that doesn't align with secondhand success coaching, looking for different type of coaching mindset, something like that, then we do have a free hour power that we offer as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll link to that too. We both love to help and serve, but in different ways. So happy to
Yeah.
send anyone your way.
Yeah.
I've just loved getting to share your story. It really is so incredible. So thank you.
If there's anything I can do for you, be of service, you please let me know.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. I hope you found some gems of inspiration and some takeaways to help you on your path to second act success. To view show notes from this episode, visit secondactsuccess.co. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. Reviews only take a few moments and they really do mean so much. Thank you again for listening. I'm Shannon Russell, and this is Second Act Success.